Now, I don't think I have ADHD, but when I was a kid, I used to be distracted a lot. And it was the reason for like my primary school, which in America, I think you call it middle school. My middle school grades were horrible purely because I could just never focus. And this has been a trouble with me even like during my editing career. I was sort of sick of it at some point, and I just sort of thought to myself, how the hell do I fix this? I seriously need to start locking in with my work. I need to get something done, because otherwise, if I keep going on like this, I'm not gonna go far. I'm gonna be working like 2 hours a day and I'm not gonna get anything done. I need to start learning to focus properly. And this was especially not helpful when I had deadlines due soon. Like I would have clients asking me, hey man, is the video done? And then I'd say, yeah, just a bit more. And then I would look at my project file and see that I was fucked. All because I couldn't keep myself off this alt tab and keep going to YouTube, you know? I would play a film or a video and I'd have some food here just to kill some time. But the truth is, I never killed time with anything. Only thing I was killing was my chances of getting a job, because it was horrible. Chances are, if you're watching this video, then you are just like what I was. Someone who was trying to edit their videos, but they would just kept getting pulled back by these videos and by social media and by just everything around their room that would distract them. You know, if you've got stuff on your desk, it's distracting. If you've got tabs open, it's distracting. You can never keep focus, and I'm here to break down exactly why that is and what you can do about it. Something so big in editing, just in general, is your environment. Now, your environment can mean a lot of things, but what I'm talking about is just everything around you and everything that you've been doing since you woke up. If you're the kind of person who gets up from their bed and starts scrolling even for like 10 minutes, and then you get up and you go to the shower, or maybe you'll listen to some music while you're in the shower, or maybe you like to listen to some music while you're working, or you maybe like to watch something before you start, or maybe during your breaks, when you have these breaks, when you feel demotivated and you feel burnt out, you think, you know what? I'm gonna stop editing and I'm just gonna take a break and I'm gonna watch some YouTube. And you may watch some YouTube, or you may watch a film, or you may go on Twitter or something, and then you think what you're doing is actually helping yourself by taking a break. But the truth is, you're just ruining your environment. Now, your brain works in waves. When you're focused and you're able to actually do your work without any distraction, your brain waves aren't moving in some sort of frenzy, okay? They're very calm and stable. However, when you did everything that I just told you, waking up and scrolling on TikTok, or walking to school with music, or doing taking your breaks at your desk watching YouTube, you are charging your dopamine levels up for your brainwaves start moving in this sort of frantic waveform. Now, that is your environment, along with everything on your workspace is also your environment. That and everything that you've been doing throughout the entire day is how you work with your environment. And the truth is, when we start charging up our dopamine levels, it's very hard for it to switch back. You don't just like snap your fingers and suddenly you're in focus mode, because the truth is, it's very hard for your brain to go back to that. It's very repulsed. It's very comfortable at where it's at. If you're the kind of person who just has music when they do literally anything, whether it's they go and cook, or they go and read, or they go to school, then I would advise taking out your headphones for this stuff. Just be with you and your thoughts, so that way you're just focused on yourself and you're not driven by stimulation, you're driven by focus. If you ever feel like you're burnt out or demotivated from editing, then don't stop here and take a break here. Get up and go somewhere. Change your environment. Because if you're working and then you go and watch something, your brain is understanding this environment, your entire workspace, as a place for dopamine, as a place for relaxation. When you go to bed at night and you go to fall asleep and then you start scrolling on your phone, your brain is understanding that environment is not a place for rest, it's a place for entertainment. So now you stay up and then your sleep schedule's horrible, all because of the way that you're treating your environment. When you want to take a break from editing, you feel demotivated and you get up and go somewhere else, you're changing your environment. And when you're in a different environment and you stay there for a bit, and then you start to think, what was I actually doing before? And the only activity you can remember of your day is what you had just done. Like if you get up and go to the gym, for example, it's what I do, so I'm just gonna use that example. If you get up and go to the gym and then you start working out for a few minutes, maybe like 10, 20, 30 minutes, and then you think to yourself, what was I even doing before this? Like all I can remember was the walk here and, all right, yes, I was editing and then I got demotivated and I'm here. When you get to that point, you realize your brain has now acknowledged that you're in a different environment. You're doing something else because now you're no longer demotivated. You can come back and you can work again. So now that your brain understands there's two different environments, but had you taken your break at your desk, had you gone to get a snack and to sit down and eat and watch some YouTube, your brain would have changed this environment from a place of work to a place of stimulation. Do you know why offices exist? Do you know why they're around? Do you know why they were invented? Of course, you can like have direct connection and direct contact with all your co-workers and your boss, so you get stuff done fast. And sure, there are files and stuff, but the main reason that offices exist is that they're places of work. They're environments of work. When you can't get anything done, it's because there's nobody else here, okay? It's just you in your room, no one's getting work done. But if you're surrounded by people who are getting shit done with their laptops or their books or something, you know, I get up and I go to my university to go work a lot now because I'm surrounded by people who are just working. It's an environment of work. I can't get myself distracted because there's nothing on my desk, you know, to play around with, okay? Because I'm in an environment of work. It's somewhere else. If I'm around people who are working, I'm influenced to work. It's the same with offices. That's why people go to offices, because when they see other people working, they feel like as they are inclined to work, like it's just something that they have to do, and they'll eventually do it whether they enjoy it or not. It's how offices are work. It's how they were designed. If you're somebody that has a laptop, I would advise that you get up and go work in a different environment, you know, somewhere like a cafe. Or if you're in university, then I advise you go and sit in your student union and just work there. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't have a laptop and you actually have to work on a desktop PC and you're fixed at your room or living room or whatever you were, then I'm going to show you exactly how to change your environment to a place of work. Obviously, first, I want to talk about the fact that everything that I talked about before, as in the build up to your work, you know, waking up, everything you do from waking up to working should be built for you to focus, not for you to be stimulated. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard for you to start working. So ditch any habits from waking up till work where its only purpose is to stimulate you. Anything from when you wake up till when you work, if it stimulates you, for example, if you edit after school and you wake up and you want to go to school, avoid doing things like listening to music or grabbing some snacks along the way that will stimulate you. When you come back from school to home and you want to start editing, you don't want to listen to music. You don't want to go and change some clothes and then check all your notifications just for a few seconds, you know, just for a few seconds, because if I check it for a few seconds, I just want to clear everything up and everything, know that everything's okay. But the truth is, the second you start scrolling is the second you get sucked in. Everything that you do from when you wake up till work shouldn't be done for the sole purpose of stimulation. Now, when you actually get to work and you're in your workspace, there's a lot of things that I used to do that would completely distract me from my work. And the first one I'm going to talk about is if you have a second or third monitor, turn them off or remove them from your desk entirely. Because the truth is, if you have one monitor, you're going to think that you have one monitor for Premiere, and then you're going to have one monitor for YouTube or one monitor for music or whatever it is. But the truth is, you have access to a second screen, and that's dangerous, because now that you do, you're going to keep switching and you're going to look back, you're going to and then it's never going to work out. Stick to the one monitor, because the one monitor is where you will just have Premiere open, and it's the only thing that you'll have your eyes set on. There are things on your PC that you have access to. For example, your Twitter account, or maybe you have games on your hotbar at the very bottom. Anything that's just one click away from you being stimulated is dangerous. When you tab out and you go to Twitter, you're only going to be there for 1 second. But once you start reading, or once you start watching a video that's on your timeline, is when you're hooked. Log out of all of your accounts. This is going to sound a bit weird, but just log out of all of your accounts when you start working, so that when you go to tab out and you go to Twitter, you're going to go into the site and it's going to tell you to log in, and you're going to think, oh, I can't be asked to log in, because you're there for the dopamine, okay? You're not going to log in, so you're just going to go back to your work. These are gimmicky things, okay? I'll be honest, these are very gimmicky things, but the truth is, it's changing your environment, and changing your environment is generally just the one thing that will help you decrease your chances of getting distracted. But the truth is, your focus should be everything that you do up until you work. Everything based on your workspace is very gimmicky, but it helps decrease those chances if there's anything left there. So your Discord account, you log out, okay? If you need to get something from your client, or you need to respond to your client, then log in and DM them and then log out immediately after, because you need to get back to work. Your dopamine is only there for you to just look at the one tiny thing, and the second you look at that one tiny thing, you get hooked. If there's nothing to look at, then your dopamine will stop acting up. If you have Twitter on your Google bookmarks, okay, remove that. Anything that's easily accessible to boost your dopamine, you want to remove it. Things on your desk as well, okay? Remove them because they're there for you to just play with and procrastinate and distract yourself from the actual work at hand. Now, these are all called external stimuli. These are things around you. These are things in your environment that distract you. Now, there's also your internal stimuli, which are the thoughts in your head that drive you to think about other things and eventually just doze off and think about something else, when what you should be doing is focusing on the task at hand. If you start thinking about, oh, I'm hungry, or what should I eat? Oh, you know what? And then you go grab your phone and then you think about what you're gonna order. Or if you think about like, oh, I forgot to watch the game. And then you go and watch like the highlights of a football game or basketball game or something. This is your internal stimuli. These are the things in your head that's stopping you from focusing on the task at hand. Just to simply remove them, you don't want to let it control you. If you keep doing these things and you don't have results, then maybe it's time for you to get up and go change your environment. Maybe things are getting too much and you're getting overwhelmed and you think, this isn't working. I need to get up and I need to go get a refresh. You'll get up, you'll go refresh yourself, and you'll come back and it'll be like an entirely new environment. If you have enough money to afford a Mac, like as in a MacBook, as a laptop for you to go and work, I would highly advise you do that. But if you don't worry, you don't need a laptop to get work done. But it's something that's really helped me get shit done when I can't get shit done at my environment.